I'll maybe come back to my notes to make sure I don't forget anything that I wanted to talk about. But speaking of that too, the work side of things, like I knew coming into Costa Rica that I wanted to slow down on the amount of hours I was putting in and even the times of day that I was actually putting time into my work. And what it's turned into is I work from about 11 until 2 o'clock every single day here. And that's about it. There's been a couple of evenings where I've caught up on a few things, but it's mostly been just trying to buy a vehicle in the evenings. It hasn't even been work stuff. It's more just been continuing to knock things off the list of allowing us to turn this into a home and then into our home, having all the things that we know that we need in order to be able to get around and take the kids to school and go get groceries and just all of that stuff. But with regards to the work side of things though, too, I actually had a very clear vision as to what I was going to focus my energy, my time on when I got here. And before I left, it all unraveled. It became something that just was no longer aligned. Both Danielle and I had a conversation where she came to me and said, hey, I'm not feeling this. What we're doing with the Source Collective right now needs to go in a different direction right now. So it wasn't a breakup of sorts as much as it was a realignment of focus and energy. She knew, I think before I even knew, that I was going to need this time here to just be present, to be dad, to not be the entrepreneur, but to be somebody that was just grounded in the fact that look at where I am, look at what I get to do. And now look at who I get to be every single day to make sure that my family is good. And it gave me the space and time to be able to be that person and to do that. And, at first, when we had the conversation before I left, there was a bit of well, wait a second, because we've been going down this path and creating this vision for what we will co-create with the Source Collective, which is a collective of people that are up to big things, that are creatives at heart, that are creating real change in the world and starting with themselves and elevating every single day and diving deep into the spiritual work, but knowing that it's more than just that. It's also about our relationships. It's also about our physical growth. And then it is about the business growth too. All of these different quadrants that make up what I refer to as the 12 dimensions of life, which I'll link that up in the show notes down below as well, because this is something that I'm constantly revisiting and continuing to lean into more to be the foundation for everything that I'm doing now personally, to live my greatest life, to have it all, but then also to be of service to others, to provide a blueprint for people to be able to really reflect and go deep on what matters most to them and to realize that you really can have it all. It is about expanding time. It is about making choices that become non-negotiable. And on that note, I'll say one of the greatest gifts that I've received in this whole process too was that understanding myself too, that my spiritual work is non-negotiable. And it is the most important thing in my life. It is the thing that allows me to work on me. And if I don't do that, put the mask on first, how can I ever be of service to anybody else? My family, my extended family, the people that I serve in my business, and beyond that, the people that we've had the pleasure of hosting at our retreats as well. So it's become non-negotiable, that and also my physical health too. So we've had this great purge happen in the last 3 weeks too, where all of us have been sick, really sick. And I don't want to say this in a gross kind of way, but I've never seen so much bodily fluids, snot in particular, come out of 4 human beings than I have in the last 3 weeks. It's really incredible. And I'm sure some of it has to do with just the climate change and all that kind of stuff, but it's been painful, quite frankly, very painful. Ears plugged, sore throats, stuffed sinuses, sicknesses, fevers, chills, you name it. We've had all of it happen. And it almost seems like everything in the 12 dimensions is on a complete reset right now. The business, the physical growth, the relationship growth with my wife, with my kids, with my clients, all of it. And then, of course, the spiritual growth. It's just a leaning into this next level, which naturally, and I've spoken about this before, but when we continuously choose to elevate, we end up on the bottom level of the next level. And of course, it's uncomfortable. Of course, it's not going to feel good initially, but this is the game. This is the game. It's to recognize that and go, okay, all right, I'm evolving. Here we go. Or say, oh my God, I cannot believe that all of these things have happened. We all got sick. All of my business stuff that I was going to focus all my energy on all of a sudden doesn't exist anymore. And now it's time to refocus. And oh, wow, look at that beach over there. Geez, I got a friend here who's going to take me out surfing so I don't have to have that uncertainty and fear of like, geez, like, where do I even rent a surfboard? Where do I go out surfing? Is there crocodiles in this water? What about the currents? All that kind of stuff. I was able to ease into that with the support of a friend as well. And just grounding in that has been such a blessing for me. And I found myself this morning even too. My wife and I went and checked out a preschool / kindergarten combo school that's walking distance from our house, which is going to be an amazing solution for the kids. But the other nice part is that it's right on the surf beach. So she actually drove back home after that meeting. And I said, I'm just going to stay down here for a minute. And I sat at a table and I posted a photo of it this morning and just reflected on the fact that I'm so grateful that everything has happened to me and for me, because I don't know if I would have recognized the beauty around me. I don't know if I would have slowed down enough and turned the page here and created a blank piece of paper, a canvas that says, you can create whatever you want now. What do you want? What do you want? It's time to ride a new wave. It's a new season. And old me would have thought, well, you don't got time for this. You got to go find a vehicle. You got to make sure that the kids are good. You got to go and make some food. You got to check in on all of your tasks. You gotta. But this new version of me says, look at this place. Look at this beauty. You created this. You put yourself in the position to be here, and it didn't happen overnight. So now when you get here, recognize it. Take a breath. And just be grateful. And then take that pen out and start creating your reality. And that is the state that I sit in this moment right now. And it's part of the reason why I thought, I'm just going to flip this on and I'm going to start talking about all this stuff, because I wanted to, number one, just give an update to everybody as to what's all gone down, but also to say that it's been such a blessing, all of it, and that I am grateful for all the messiness that has shown up in our life.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed that clip and you want to watch the full unedited episode, go ahead and click over here. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me. Thanks so much.